Israel is reporting that they vaccinated half of their population. And I'm going to guess it's the Jewish half.
Here is the reality that this joke is bringing to light. Israel is a military occupier in the West Bank, where Jewish settlers who illegally take over Palestinian lands are considered Israeli citizens and can receive Israeli vaccinations, while millions of Palestinians living in the same occupied West Bank live under Israeli military dictatorship and Jim Crow-style segregation without any basic rights.
The Geneva Conventions make clear that an occupied population maintains the protections of Geneva, regardless of whether there's an agreement between them and the occupying power. So by no legal standard can Oslo supersede the Geneva Conventions. The protections of the Geneva Conventions are still the legal basis. The Oslo Accords were an interim agreement signed in the mid-1990s that were meant to lead to a political settlement within 5 years. This was a plan meant to transition to the end of occupation, not meant to be a permanent system of governance. Many of the provisions meant to provide Palestinian autonomy were never implemented, from lifting movement restrictions, affording water rights, land negotiations, and aspects of almost every other part of Palestinian life and functioning. To argue that the PA is on its own now in a pandemic is disingenuous. So at every level, by any measure, Israel has responsibilities and duties legally, logistically, and of course morally, as the entity with the most control over Palestinian life. The United Nations, Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, and civil society organizations within Israel and the Palestinian territories all agree that Israel needs to vaccinate Palestinians.